And just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Feet flat on the floor if you're not sitting in a regular cross-legged position. Shoulders align with the hips. Have your knees about a hip's width apart. And maybe a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Just trying to release some of the tension at the base of the occiput. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So you're just kind of lengthening. And then just release any tension on the crown of the head and the forehead, the eyes, just your whole face. Relax the jaw. Allow some softening to come into the scalp and the muscles all around the face. Relax the shoulders and the shoulder blades and the throat, your chest. And your belly and limbs. And just become aware of the breath sensations. Could be the air flowing in and out of the nostrils, your chest, 360-degree breaths, sensations are around your rib cage. And then your belly. And be aware of the sounds in your environment, allowing them to be there, trying not to go off and investigate. And just be aware of the thoughts that are arising, and maybe notice if there's a texture. Is there a color? And just view your thoughts, what it is, whatever it is you're thinking, what you've been through today, what you're thinking about tomorrow, what you're worrying about. Just view it with curiosity. Your emotions, view it with curiosity rather than with judgment or stories. And just also observation. So we're just very quietly seeing some of your internal dialogue from an objective point of view. And then bring to mind all the people of your life. So now we've heard about a few this evening. And I mean, the text and the equanimity, they don't talk about the animals, but some people's pets are really like family. So we have our loved ones, our human loved ones, and maybe our pet loved ones, our strangers. And then there's ones we don't like so much. And remembering they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for, this Buddha mind. And so I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, for Lou's mum, Mary, for Virginia, my friend Judith's next door neighbor, people's pets, and goodness me, everybody in Florida right now and all their families. Wow, this is a big storm. and just sort of some gratitude in our hearts for being in a place that's relatively safe, where we have internet and we can connect and communicate. So that takes a little bit of virtue. Just this idea of being in the right place at the right time. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so we can change that by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger or attachment, or basically our delusions that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think, okay, so I'm sick of this, so what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? And here we come to this power of reliance, and we rely upon the Buddha. So this first section here under reliance is refuge. And we see the Buddha not as a higher power or someone who's going to forgive us, but somebody who has these methods that we can use to purify. And, imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right, and the left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And there being crossed represents enlightenment, infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood, so as to benefit all sentient beings. So this little section on compassion: in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those people who've harmed you, and just have a little bit of compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum he. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And imagine it just overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. And so just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, all our inappropriate speech, all our useless speech. Imagine all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Drita me boa, Situkaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anorecta me boa, Sawasidi mimpieta sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriam Kuru hum ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa, Mahasamaya satra a hum pe, Vajrasafa samayam, Manupalaya, Vajrasafa dina patita, Drita me boa, Situkaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anorecta me boa, Sawasidi mimpieta sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuro Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitrokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorecta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuro Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorecta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpieta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. And now feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech and including yourself. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you walk into a room, it's pitch black, and you flick on the switch, and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, just imagine all the negativity, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, attachment and neediness and anger and depression, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorecta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorecta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorecta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorecta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorecta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorecta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe So just be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and why we harm others, all of this purified, gone, finished. And now in your heart, there's no space for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. Excuse me. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine this time that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even those very, very subtle imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So now feel that you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we have this power of resolve, the fourth and final step in the purification process, really crucial, because without making a decision to do anything, nothing's going to happen. So this determination, this aspiration not to harm, becomes like a beacon that guides your body and your speech and your mind in new directions, or at least shines a light on being a little bit more conscious. So you don't just, smack that fly or that mosquito that's annoying you. You just kind of very maybe gently wipe them away or put some protection on so they don't come close, like some of the like non-harmful sprays you can get in the health food stores. So it's almost like we start to take precautions to protect others from our own habits. And then rejoice in your efforts for coming along here. And, think of something kind of easy for you to work on between now and tomorrow, something that's, doable. Don't overextend yourself because maybe you might not do it. So make something easy, give yourself an easy timeline limit. Let's just dedicate all the merit. Oh, no, we're going to absorb the Buddha. So imagine Vajrasattva wants to merge with your mind, just completely delighted with you, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend meditating on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And here's our 3 verses. A top pain's remedy, the Mahayana, with Vajradharma as his mighty weapon, with Vajra depth renowned as Jinajik, with Vajra thought aware of how things are, perfecting all perfections perfectly, adorned by all the grounds of bodhisattvas, the selflessness of pure phenomena, with luster that is moonlight unto knowledge, with great endeavors as illusory nets, the foremost master ruling every tantra, endowed in full with every Vajra posture, completely furnished with all wisdom bodies. Okay, thank you, everybody. A strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your teachers to live long, and for, Virginia to have a good transition, for Mary to settle into her hospice okay. She's also then moving into transition, perhaps. And then for anybody else, just your pets, your people, and all of those people in Florida, they must be terrified. Okay, lots of love, everybody. Good night. I will see you tomorrow evening, and thank you so much for hosting. All right, lots of love, everyone. Bye. Good night.